right now, and a new Canadian study is out that debunks the so-called liberation therapy treatment for MS patients. The study determined that there's no evidence of impaired blood flow or blockage in the veins of the neck or head that are connected to multiple sclerosis. The liberation therapy is a blockage-clearing procedure, a procedure that Chris Alkenbrack underwent nearly 2 years ago, and he says, well, it changed his life. And Chris joins us on the phone here this afternoon. Chris, good afternoon to you again.
Hi, thank you, Rick.
How you doing, sir?
I'm not too bad.
Good. Well, what do you think about this new study that, again, suggests that this blockage issue is a non-issue, at least as far as MS is concerned?
Well, whenever I hear something like this, I always try to step back and look at it for what it is and pull out the research and find out what actually the study is saying. One thing that I find about this study in particular, first of all, it says it debunks the theory of liberation therapy. Well, it wasn't an interventional study, so it can't debunk liberation, the treatment, the CCSVI treatment. They're saying they didn't find the blockages in anyone, which I find suspect because we have all kinds of international studies out there already that have concluded that CCSVI does exist, and it's not unique to MS. Another thing that I found suspect with this study done by Ian Roger at the McMaster University is that they say that they were trained in Italy with Zamboni, and I find that just stating that they're creating they're misleading the public because they're trying to create an air of credibility, and there is no credibility in this study. Zamboni himself has already issued a comment to the editorial of the magazine, of the journal that published this, and basically he's saying, yeah, okay, you trained here, but you didn't use my protocol properly. They didn't use the proper equipment. They used 20-year-old equipment to assess CCSVI. They did not use the gold standard, which is venography. So this study's already been debunked. It's history. It's past. We're way beyond that.
This is the latest in a number of these very similar findings in some studies, though, is it not?
Well, yes, and what's interesting, Rick, is about these studies is they're all done by, well, in this case, Ian Roger was a pharmacologist. He's not an imaging specialist. And the other ones are done by neurologists, the ones that supposedly debunk the whole MS theory.
And you think these neurologists are, I don't say out to get you, but out to, for some reason, out to just prove that this liberation therapy is just hogwash?
Yes, I think so. Yeah, and I'll give you an example. We have a conference coming up in Sherbrooke, Quebec, the National CCSVI Society, and one of our speakers is going to be Sean Sethi. He's an imaging specialist. He works with a team of researchers out of Wayne State University in Buffalo, and he says this research, talking about CCSVI, okay? Yep. He says the research is not speculative. Imaging specialists use quantifiable measures and calculations to substantiate their findings. And it says that Sean will provide tangible evidence that will put to rest the idea that CCSVI does not exist within an MS patient population.
So it'll debunk the study that apparently debunks the therapy.
Yes, yeah, and I would invite anybody listening to, get a copy of the recent Maclean's magazine or go online. You can read a brilliant article by Ann Kingston, reporter there. I believe she's an editor at Maclean's magazine. Anyway, she's written an article called "Debunking the Study That Debunked CCSVI," and she gives links to all the positive studies and goes into some of the issues.
Well, to me, it's the anecdotal evidence. I mean, evidence from people like yourself who have undergone the therapy and, again, have seen a remarkable turnaround in their condition.
Yeah, and their quality of life. Really, it is a quality of life, a quality of life issue. I still have MS. I still have, I wake up some mornings and I'm very aware that I have MS. Legs don't work, and vision problems, and so forth. So it's not a cure for MS, but it definitely is a wonderful treatment. And we've got several Canadian doctors now who've come out in the media who've had this procedure. We have Dr. Bill Code, who is actually the medical director for the National CCSVI Society. Dr. Ron Unger. In fact, I met Dr. Ron Unger in May of 2010 in Poland. He was just this guy sitting in the lobby, and I started talking with him and found out that he was a Canadian doctor, retired. And he was there for this treatment that I had in Poland. He had the treatment the day after me, and I've had communications with him since. Dr. Suzanne Roy from Quebec, the Richelieu Valley, she was treated for CCSVI. Dr. Matthew Nome, formerly of Nova Scotia here, who lives in British Columbia now. He's a retired physician. So, yeah, and we have a number of other Canadian doctors with MS who've had this treatment. So, it's not a faith-based treatment. It's a real issue. It's a real entity. And we we turned the page on CCSVI existing two years ago with the Buffalo study, where the largest study in North America came out, and the conclusion was that CCSVI does exist. And this was done by Robert Zavadanov, a neurologist. CCSVI does exist, and it's not unique to MS. And Zavadanov's team has since found 45% correlation between CCSVI and other neurological diseases. So MS is only the tip of the iceberg in all of this.
Why do you think, before I let you go, Chris, why do you think that we have these totally opposite findings in these studies here?
I have no idea why. I mean, I suspect that there are links to the large pharmaceutical industries, but I don't want to sound like a conspiracy theorist. But we are moving forward. If you don't mind me making a 15-second plug for our conference, we have a conference, an amazing conference in Sherbrooke, Quebec, the National CCSVI Society, and it's called Voices of Progress. And we have topics like nutrition and blood flow and imaging specialists. I just spoke about Sean Sethi, who'll be presenting. We have advocacy. We have Joan Beal coming from California. Joan's husband, Jeff Beal, is a composer for music, like the House of Cards and things like that. And he was the first American treated for CCSVI. And we have Jane Cordy from Nova Scotia going, and Kirsty Duncan, and they're advocacy. And we have some interventional specialists, physiotherapy specialists, and biofilms. So it's going to be an amazing conference. And we are not waiting for the Canadian government to find the results of CCSVI. We're going forward. Worldwide researchers are coming and they're presenting their research, and this is not unique to MS, and it's going to be a major change in paradigm at one point.
Very good. When is that conference?
It's on September 28th and 29th in Sherbrooke, Quebec.
And you're going? You're going?
Oh, absolutely. Wow. Yes, I'm one of the volunteer directors. Well, actually, we're all an all-volunteer board. And not only that, Rick, an amazing thing is all of these researchers are coming from all over the world, Poland, the States, everywhere in Canada. They're all paying their own way. They believe in this cause so much that they're all paying their own way. Because we're a charity, we can't afford to bring them and so forth. And they're all coming on their own dime. And it's pretty amazing. And these people are passionate about this, and they're passionate about making people with MS better.
Well, perhaps as we get a little closer to the end of September, we'll get you back on. You can tell us more about the conference, Chris.
Oh, I would love to, Rick. Thank you very much.
All right, you have a great evening, sir.
You do, too.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Chris Alkenbrack, and he is a Nova Scotian who has MS, who underwent the so-called liberation therapy treatment a couple of